So a lot of people was telling me to do TikTok, and I was like, I really don't care for TikTok. Like, I had it linked on my stuff, but I really don't care for TikTok. I spend too much time on there, like, not doing anything productive, or going down rabbit holes I don't need to be down, or looking at things I don't need to be looking at. And so I was like, I don't know about TikTok. And I used to go on there just to watch this one girl, the girl that did my weight speeds. It's just because I liked her a lot. But she didn't really care for TikTok either. And she had ended up changing her account to subscriber only. And I was like, yeah, I just don't, like, TikTok got more foolishness than, more foolishness than any site that I know of other than probably any. Because they got trolls. I ain't got time for that. I don't play about stuff like that. I was about to say worse than TikTok, but TikTok ain't even that bad. I mean, Twitch ain't even that bad when it comes to trolls. It's TikTok. And then you have to have so many subscribers or whatever before you can go live on TikTok. So I was like, that's not really gonna work. And I just don't care to get on TikTok. And I don't know many people who are wanting to get on there. So I think what I've decided at this point is to go ahead and do Instagram lives, because I'm pretty sure I can go live on Instagram without having, it don't matter how many followers I got, unlike other platforms. And then I have to look more into my Patreon account to see what all I can do on there. But you gotta first have the traffic to get to Patreon. Like, people have to be signed up on Patreon for that videos and stuff to be over there. And so, yeah, guess that's what we're doing now. So that was the first, like, clear thing that I was like, this is kind of interesting. It came out of nowhere. What the crap is going on? I didn't do anything, kind of thing. So at this point, I was like, I'm just gonna take a break from Twitch. I'm not gonna go watch anybody. I take that back. Before I did that, I took a little break that was like 3 days or something like that. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna create a second account. When you create a second account, well, they tell you not to create a second account, number one. Second account, you can't use the same name. So I had to go figure out who I had followed. And refollow them, which a lot of people I didn't refollow because I can't remember everything. And then I'm under a different name, so I have to go tell all my friends I'm under this different name. And then I was like, okay, on this account, I'm not gonna go live. I'm just, when you put your hand on my shoulder, I was thinking about Keikos was right there, and I was like, his hand don't feel like that. That was so weird. I was like, I'm not gonna go live on this account. I'm just gonna watch my friend, the one I came here to see, and like 3 other people, and I'm just gonna get off. Like, I was so over it. I was like, I don't even want to support Twitch no more. Like, they have been making me mad with ads and how they come up with new ads. Even over the year or so I've been on there. And how long it takes you to block all the content that's SEXual. And yeah, I was just over it. But I wasn't gonna like stop having a relationship with my best friend because Twitch is a butthole. So that's basically the only reason I went back. If he wasn't on there, I would have like been like, forget it, never going back. I enjoyed my time, and I would just, I don't know what I was gonna do, but I wasn't going back on there. But yeah, he's too valuable for me to do that. So that was the first crazy thing in the last couple weeks. So now that we went through the Twitch, let's go back to March. Before I went to Virginia in March, my car was in the shop. I had a small oil leak. I have had this oil leak since I had the car. But all of a sudden, it had turned into like a full-blown, like, I need to put oil in here every other day, if not every day, type of leak. So I was like, okay, you gotta go to the shop. And gymnastics was over, you know, all that stuff. gymnastics start back up in, like traveling for gymnastics start back up in September. So I was like, I'm gonna take it to the shop, blah, blah, blah. So took it to the shop that I normally go to, and they was like, are you gonna leave it? I was like, leave it? What you mean leave it? Leave it for what? And they was like, well, yeah, we got a line of cars right now, like 30 cars in line. We'll get to it. When we get to it, you leave your keys. I'm like, no. Like, I had only been to this place a couple times, and every time I didn't have to leave my car. Like, I got brakes there before. I got one other thing before, like a tire or something. And I was like, no, I don't know y'all like that kind of thing. So I was like, I'll go to this one that's right down the street, closer to my house. And if I got to leave it there, it'll be a little bit different. Like, I ain't got to have somebody come drop me off. I can walk to my house. So I went down there, and it was like, yeah, we'll look at it, blah, 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 whatever. So they called me, and they tell me it's not the thing that they said at the oil change place that was leaking, which I think that was the rear main seal or something like that, that they said at the oil change place. And it was like, it was the, what did they say it was? Somewhere close to the oil pan, because I don't remember. That was so long ago. And I done had so much going on since then. So I was like, okay, cool. It was like, the first time I had to go get it, I think it was $1,200 or something like that. So I paid that, went back and got it, and it was still leaking. So I was pissed after I spent that much money. That's more than my rent. And I was like, it's still leaking. And then he got an attitude with me and said, how you know it's still leaking? What you mean how I know it's still leaking? It's oil in my driveway that wasn't there yesterday, and I checked my oil, so I know it's leaking. And so I take it back, and he was like, I'm so sorry. I was about to say my last name. Oh, I'm so sorry. It was something that was defective from the manufacturer, because they had to order it from Kia. Something that was defective from the manufacturer, and we had to reorder it. We're gonna take care of it for you, blah, 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 blah. So I said, okay, cool. Take it back up there. Hopefully they'll fix it, and then I won't take it back. So they keep my car, no lie. They fix that thing, and then they say, but it's still a leak. Every time we fix the leak, it goes somewhere else. I'm like, it's another leak somewhere else. So they keep like fixing it, replacing it, fixing it, replacing it, whatever. So then this last time they called me and they said, okay, you need new head gaskets, and it's not worth it to do that because I would charge you, it's a lot of labor, whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, so trying to decide if I want to scrap it, try to decide if I want to get a new car, whatever. Trying to figure out what to do next. Talk to my advisors, all that kind of stuff. So I get through, I was about to say, you better not jump over here. Get through all that. I probably need this to try. Get through all that, and I get a letter in the mail that says, hey, you have a recall on your car. I think I told y'all all this. Had a recall on your car. You need to fix the heating, whatever unit, the thing, so the car don't catch on fire. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. So I was like, call the people, and I was like, I'm coming to get my car. I'm gonna take it to the Kia dealership so they can fix this recall. And maybe the recall is the reason that I've been having these issues, and let's see if they'll cover it, blah, 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 all that. So I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. Get my keys. I go get my car. Park it in the driveway. This whole time I've been using my brother's car. Still using my brother's car today. Which he is so sweet to let me do that. Because otherwise I wouldn't have had a car for the past, since February. And today is July, mid-July. Like the 12th or something. So he was like, I parked in the front yard. I was like, I had already made an appointment with the Kia that was close to me. And it was like they couldn't. This was in March when I made. No. Yeah, March when I made the recall appointment. And it was like they can't see me till July. So when I went and got the recall thing, no, I don't know. Anyway, I was like, I done called them. I'll tell you later. I done called them 3 weeks in a row, whenever that it was. They gave me an appointment for July in like March or May, something like that. And then I called them 3 weeks in a row and nobody answered the phone. I was like, oh no, because I don't play that. And then I had talked to the people at gymnastics, which I think I told y'all. And they was like, don't go to that one, go to a different one. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the one that's closer. They gave me two other locations that's close by. One, they told me it was awesome, but it was outside of like where my family is. So I was like, if I take it to the other one and I needed a ride, somebody would take me, kind of thing. So I was like, that's probably the best route to go, close to my family versus further away. And so I went on, no, I called them instead of going online because they wouldn't let me make another online appointment because I already had an appointment with a different kid. Kay goes, no. Get on. No. 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 So I'm pretty sure he just stepped in paint. I'm pretty sure he just stepped in paint. I'm so annoyed right now. This is another thing, but we'll get to Keiko's in a minute. So these people say they can see me immediately. They ain't had nobody come in for the recall. Everything good. I couldn't do it that day because I played gymnastics. And so I went with the following week that I was available, whatever. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get it down, drive it down there, and then they can look at it, and this should all be resolved because I'm going to the dealership. So 2 days before I'm supposed to go to the dealership, my grandpa was like, if the oil running out of there as fast as you say it's running out of there, then you don't need to be driving it because it's gonna mess up or whatever. I'm like, okay, so now you tell me I need to get it towed. Got a quote from my insurance. It was $600 for them to tow it to the place I was talking about. And then my grandpa's mechanic, look at this. My grandpa's mechanic said he would do it for like $320. So I was like, well, I guess we're gonna have to go with the $320 because I'm not paying $600 and the appointment is in 2 days. So they come up here and get my car, and it was like, well, right after they put it on, it was like, it's a front wheel drive or whatever, something. The opposite of what they needed it to be. And he didn't have the full, like, where you pick up your whole car, you had to like put the 2 wheels on and then tow it like that. And he said something about it wouldn't, the tires wouldn't roll while you were driving if the car went on. I said, well, can't you crank the car up and take it out now? Because at this point, it's like, I don't even know if I'm going to keep the car, whatever. So if it get messed up, then they're going to fix it down there. So they take the car. And then I called them and tell them, you know, they were dropping the car off. They was like, I didn't have to come down there in person. They was going to look at it. And that was it. I think I told y'all all this, so I'm just going to fast forward through the car stuff. So then they had a cyber attack, and so they couldn't look at the car. Then they finally looked at the car. So they called me back, and they was like, are you ready to talk about it? 3 weeks later. I'm like, yeah, I got time to talk about it, whatever. He was like, I needed the intake manifold replaced, the oil leak fixed, and the fuel pump replaced. All that together was $4,400. I was like, okay. So I called my people, and my car guy, who I got this car from at the auction, was like, nothing on that car should cost that much. So he was like, he finna go down there and get it, and he gonna take it to the Kia specialist. So I'm like, at this point, I ain't had my car since February, and we still going back and forth by this car. I'm like, okay. So that's up in the air. Then, as y'all may or may not know, I've been having leaks in my house, like literal raining in my house. So I've been having to put buckets around the house. And at first the owner was like, we ain't paying for that. We ain't getting no roof. Like, I would submit stuff and they would just be like, ignore me. And so I was like, we're gonna have to move. Because, so I had weak cabinets in my kitchen when I first moved in, and weak drawers in my kitchen, and cracks in the wall, which it wasn't a large crack at the time. But now I know, because I've seen the leaks, because the same thing don't leak twice usually. It'd be like a different place. And so I was like, okay, I probably shouldn't report it unless it leaks in the same place twice, right? Because I don't want to be like, they'd be like, oh, it was just a one-time thing, blah, blah, blah. So, I need some weight. So, I was like, now was the time. I got like 3 leaks. They've been consistent in these spots. And now I see that where it's leaking at, because like, before I put something down to catch it, the same places where it's leaking at are the same places where I had those weak cabinets at, which means it has been leaking since I moved in here. And I've been here now for 3 years, I want to say. I moved in 2021. So it's 2024. Yeah, 3 years. So, I telling probably how much mold is in this house. On top of I've started having issues about like, they didn't want to replace the air filters. I wanted them to come look at the air filter, that vent, because I felt like it had mold or something on it. And then now I'm having the issues of it's raining in the house. Literally every time it rains, I find a new spot where rain is coming in. Like my light in my kitchen has water in it. I think I've seen water. Oh shoot. I've seen water in the paint underneath my porch. The water has broke on this side. I got a carport. The water has broken through the carport, and it pours down right between where you would like get out your car to come on the porch, right there. There's one section over here where after it gets to a certain weight, water just drops out of it. And then this is all, those are outside. And inside, I've had a leak in this. You see this light right here? It's a vent right here. There's been water coming out of there. It's water that leaks from the ceiling above my kitchen sink. Water that leaks from above my kitchen sink in a different spot, close to the other spot, that goes down through the cabinets to the middle of the floor, which now I know why the floor was jacked up. Then in my bathroom, above my toilet, well, not above my toilet, but behind the door. It's like in front of my toilet, but up. Then, the leak in my closet was the one that took the cake for me. I was done after that. I was like, I can deal with the rest of it, but it's carpet in my room, and for it to be leaking out the ceiling, going through the wood, which it was a space in between the wood. So it's probably been doing that before I moved in. It's a space in between the wood where it's separated. Like it's a shelf up there, but the middle of the shelf is like, what is it called? It looked like it's two slats of wood put together to make the shelf, but it's actually not. If that makes sense. So after that, I was done. I was like, we gotta move. It's probably mold in here. I gotta keep my baby safe. We both got like really bad allergies. And we actually have been having a lot of issues with our allergies since we've been here. And so it's at this point it's not safe, and they don't want to take care of the house anyway. I've already told them about like the termites in the dead stump that's outside. They ain't came and fixed this fence. And I asked them about multiple times. Y'all know I fell when I first moved here because it wasn't no railings on, and there wasn't no railings on the stairs. Like, I'm just over it. Not that I want to move, because I thought when I moved here I wasn't gonna move anymore for a while, like till I bought a house. But we gotta be in a safe place, you know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, that's the car situation, that's the house situation. Every time I go look for a house, well, I look online for a house, I'm like, ain't it in my price range? Then when I did find something in my price range, one was like, didn't have, I was trying to look for no stairs because of my ankle surgery. It's hard for me to do stairs. So it's hard for me to wash my clothes here at the place I'm at now. And so the first place I went was like a 2-bedroom, and it was in a nice place. It was no stairs, but there was no laundry hookup, and you had to use the same laundry as the other people in the building. And it was like 12 other apartments, and y'all got one wash and dry. And I was like, if I lived here, I would not put my laundry in there, basically. I would go somewhere else. Then, I'm trying to make my life easier, and that wouldn't make my life easier. Then, and I have a wash and dryer. The other place I looked at was nice, but it had stairs coming in and out of the house. And I was like, well, I could do with that since it's just in and out of the house. It's not like inside or, I don't know. I was like, I could do it, whatever. And then it had a laundry room, but you have a tenant upstairs and a tenant downstairs. I would have been a tenant downstairs, but we would have sharing a laundry room, but not sharing laundry. I don't know. I don't even remember. So I was like, that one looks good, but they wanted me to move in July, and I wasn't planning on moving to the end of August. And I was like, okay, let me think about it. That was the one with the laundry outside. They was like, they want me to move in July. They're not gonna leave it open that long, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, okay, cool, well, either I'll decide to do both, try to rent both at the same time. Because another issue is, I don't think I'm gonna be able to move myself this time. I think I'm gonna have to hire movers. And that's because, first of all, I'm not old, y'all, but my body is old and it hurts. I just can't. So I've been buying bins, packing slowly, and like stacking the boxes, the totes in the office. So when the movers here, they can just get the big furniture and then that. So then I'm like, well, I could do both at the same time, but then I had something else going on. So I was like, I just really want something finalized before I go and jump into an apartment, because worst case scenario, I have to go stay with my grandparents again, which is really what I say, worst case scenario. So during all this, I have 2 uncles. They both been having health issues. Going to funerals and helping doing all this other stuff. I haven't been on the baby bus this summer. So I kind of miss doing that, but I just, whatever. So I'm like, okay, did all this and I'm working on the book. So I get so close to finishing the book. I edit it, send it off, order the proof, read the proof, happy with all that, whatever. So I say, okay, now I think I want to do the audiobook. So I started doing the audiobook, looking into doing the audiobook. And then I finally picked somebody. And then when I picked that person, it was like, oh, well, you need to have a producer. I'm like, okay, now I got, like, it's just stuff that keeps, like, putting the timeline down the road or whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm still going to release the ebook on the 17th, July 17th. That was just because Kindle wanted to do some kind of, like, 90-day 90-something promotion before the actual book release. So the ebook is actually available on the 17th of July, which is Wednesday. And then the paperback, which is my official release, is August 4th. I know that's not none of the days. I don't know how they came up with that date. Is August 4th. So God told me, I was like, I'm gonna release it. And I was like, oh, maybe I should have a book release party. Because this was a big deal for me. Like, my portrait is not a big deal because it's kind of like, it's already written, you know. It's just a collection. I just put it together and then I send it off. I don't have to, like, read it or do anything crazy logic-wise. But this book took work. When I say work. I had to sort through my story, sort through my trauma, think about counseling, think about all this kind of stuff. And so it's really a big deal that I got it finished. And something else that happened in March when we was in Virginia, that was a big deal, which made, God told me, he said, you want to release this book in December, but you need to do it sooner. So that's when I moved the date up to August. So that's why it's being released in August instead of December now. And so I was like, should I do a book release? Whatever. And he was like, you need to, this is something to celebrate. And I've never, like, when I say don't celebrate nothing, I ain't celebrated no graduations. Like, people throw stuff, but I'm like, me for myself doing something. Nah, I'm like, graduated high school, master's degree, bachelor's degree, new job, When I finished this book, I felt like I had won the lottery. Like, I was like, this actually just happened. Like, that was the first time I've been that kind of happy. And so I was like, okay, let me just say, the devil is busy. He been attacking my finances. He been attacking my car. He been attacking my finances because he don't want this book to come out, right? Which is fine. Been having issues at my church. I thought I was done. I thought I was gonna stay there or whatever. Then I started seeing stuff and I was like, oh, I gotta go again. So I've done all of these things with God alone, which is important because, first of all, that's the only way I can do it. But I can't turn around and say, I know he did it on purpose. I know he did it on purpose. I know God did it on purpose. He wanted me to be able to say, nobody helped me do this. Like, I was going to hire somebody to edit my book. And I kept, the first person I was going after, I was like, I don't really like their vibe. No lie. I was watching the show. And the girl that I was talking about letting edit the book was on the show I was watching. And I was like, I knew something wasn't clicking with her. And that was like, sealed the deal for me. Like, what's the odds of somebody that you talk about end up being on the show that you're watching? Okay. So, that sealed the deal on that. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna go with this other person that I'm really cool with. She, you know, a minister. She's a friend. She's a part of my circle. She don't have no ill will towards me. You know, like, I trust her. And so I did that. And then she was like, I'm working on my doctorate. And I was like, what? Like, I didn't even know. And I see her on a weekly basis. She was like, yeah, I'm working on my doctorate. I'm doing all this. I was like, girl, okay, just let me know if you can do it or whatever. And then I was like, you know what? I don't want to stress her out. I'm not going to make her do that. So then, for whatever reason, I don't know why, because I had never done this before, I looked at my Microsoft Word, and that thing had that read out loud button on there. And I said, if I play this out loud and listen to it, I can get a feel of the book, you know what I mean? And then I can edit it myself. Like, when I listened to it on audio, it felt like it wasn't my book, like I was listening to somebody else's book, and that helped me to edit it. So that was just God for sure. And then I didn't spend money on editing because of that. So I was like, okay, you're taking my finances, trying to take my finances, devil, but God's still making a way. So I get all that done. Then I'm like, okay, the party, right? I need stuff for the party. Okay, let's stop right here because I'm at 30 minutes.